Hey bros, welcome back to the Alpha Platform. Before we get started, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for supporting your queer black content creators. Today, we're going to be talking about designer relationships. Now, if you're not familiar, designer relationships are essentially where one person is a social media star. Maybe they're super attractive, they have a huge following on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube maybe, and all of a sudden they pop up with an equally as attractive man by their side. They're getting married, they're showing off their boo on social media and whatnot. And eventually the couple ends up breaking up, and we're kind of wondering, are those relationships contrived or are they real relationships? So we're going to break that down today. We're going to be featuring the Stephen Beck, another dude, Omari and his boyfriend and whatnot, Obio and his boyfriend and whatnot. And again, we're not talking in detail about the ins and outs of their relationships and details of relationships because we don't know what's going on inside their relationships. We're talking about a zoomed out perspective on designer relationships and if these are real relationships or not. Let's get into this article. I'll come back with my commentary, or I'll give my commentary as we go. All right, you guys, let's get into it. To you from It's Jamari Fox, or Inside Jamari Fox, excuse me. It says, why designer relationships end up being last season. This is premiered on his blog April 2nd, 2025. Let's get into it. And first off, we see OBO and his boyfriend here. We see this couple here. I'm not quite sure who they are. But, I want to get into the article. It says, first off, there is nothing wrong with looking good with your partner. You both present well and look like you smell like expensive ass fragrances. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. The designer relationships look expensive, but it's all about overly selling a presentation like a luxury storefront. Behind the curated aesthetics and the "we woke up like this" filtered everything, it looks like an endless product placement of a relationship. There's often nothing real holding it together. Even the sex on their own. Sorry, you guys, this is so confusing. It says even the sex on their OFs is curated. It's not intimacy, it's marketing. Marketing to poor, lonely souls who yearn for their own brand of designer too. These designer relationships aren't built to last. Yeah, I want to start by saying I feel no ways about designer relationships, if they exist or not. I'm not quite sure if they exist or not. But I have noticed that we as gay men, especially those of us on social media, we tend to choose partners based on who will look best with us on social media. We don't really present, basically, like if you have a super attractive social media star, social media person, they also want to be with a super attractive guy that they can flex on social media with. And I don't know if that's the best decision to make. I'm highly how can I put this? I'm highly hesitant against the idea or towards the idea of putting your spouse on social media with you. You guys know how I feel about it. I don't really show my husband too much. I don't really talk too much about him, what's going on with him. There's a reason why, is because I feel like I don't have anything to prove or to show. And this is called the Alpha Platform. And my husband's not part of the Alpha Platform. Like, he didn't sign up for it. So I try to keep him out of it. And again, a lot of people's opinions, I feel like in these designer relationships, maybe they break up because social media gets involved. Like, once you invite the public into your life, they have a say so in your marriage or your relationship. And one thing that I've learned throughout the years of being with my husband is the less people you have in your marriage or relationship, the better. The better you are off. They can forget things, you can forget things, but strangers and friends, family members will not forget them. You can forgive, but strangers, friends, and family members will not forgive. So you really just need to be careful about who you allow into your relationship and marriage. I feel no ways about it. I just, I do kind of question the idea of, okay, if I'm super attracted, do I need to be with a equally as super attractive man to flex on social media? I'm not quite sure. Let me know what you guys see in the comments below. Anyhow, it says they're built to be admired, envied, and ultimately exposed to the highest bidder. Okay, who is this? It says sidebar. Remember there, he bought me a G-Wagon reveal. This is the third designer relationship Keelan has been in that went bankrupt. Excuse me. Let's not make it a fourth Keelan. Okay, who is Keelan? I'm not quite sure. Is this Keelan right here, or is light skin dude Keelan? But anyhow, dude's been buying him G-Wagons apparently, so all right. Jamar says, the inevitable "so we broke up" post is just another part of the performance. They actually start dropping hints first, and then the post follows the real problems, though. The followers who eat it up and try to recreate the look with the budget with budget material. This dude is so crazy. He said y'all be trying to recreate the look with budget materials. They see their faves doing it, assume that's the standard, and end up in counterfeit versions. We know what happens to knockoffs, they fall apart. When many of the straights do it, like the rappers and baller wolves, we already know it's a countdown to a cheating reveal. A real relationship isn't a business venture for social media capital. This is why many of them always end up going out of business. We already know what a real and natural relationship marriage looks like. Half of these social media relationships are in relationships with their audiences too. I'm laughing because it's so funny. Like, you can easily find yourself in a relationship with your audience and your subscribers and whatnot. And you have to be mindful not to really, I'm not going to say not to pay your audience subscribers too much attention, but just be mindful or conscious of how many decisions you're making for the audience and how many decisions are you making for your well-being and your partner's well-being as well. Yeah, the money, social media, likes, follows, it can be addictive. You can find yourself in a relationship with the audience too. Let's end this here. It says, oh my gosh, your joint audience is loving this post. Look at these likes. We have to post something tomorrow. Stories, maybe. Give them a little tease of what we ate for dinner. How about we do that dance trend on TikTok? End it with us kissing. Yes, perfect. I love us. And you have a little meme here. All right, you guys. What do you think about designer relationships? Let me get into his comments here. So this commenter says, I can kind of see your point about designer relationships, Jamari, but can I go deeper and make a somewhat controversial conclusion, question, observation? Are same-sex relationships even a real thing based on anything substantive other than sex? A lot of people in the U.S. want to pretend like black people are just chocolate-covered white people. While there may be some similarities, there are also huge differences, distinctions, and nuances based on histories, structures, and systems. In the same way, there are huge differences between heterosexual and same-sex relationships. Sex can't be the foundation nor sustain a relationship. The reality is that at some point, sex becomes stale, boring, and monotonous. And when the sex fails, these relationships in the gay community collapse. You can make the same argument in the heterosexual community, but in their case, there tends to be more of a cling to when you are in those relationship lows. It depends on who you're dating, man. Like, who you're dating. You know, if you're only hooking up with this dude because he's attractive and he can look good on social media, then yeah, like, intimacy is going to fizzle out at some point in time. You're going to be bored at some point in time. That's the only thing that's getting you guys together. Then yeah, it's going to die because you need more than that to make your relationship last. I would say it's important to start a relationship not with sex first. Again, I'm just being careful with what I say because I don't want to get demonetized. Be careful not to start a relationship based on sex, and you do that by waiting at least 3 months. I give it 90 days to really get to know a dude and then make the decision to have sex with him afterwards, because you really know that. I'm not saying you really know the person, but you can really like make a clear decision about is this the best decision for me, or should I make another decision based on, you know, what he's showing me, his behaviors, his treatment of me and whatnot. You know, you can always decide not to have sex with someone. You can never take your sex back once you do it. So just be careful. Just be careful out there. Let's continue on with the comment. It says there are entire systems and structures that support heterosexual relationships, from the tax code all the way to church and religious doctrine and dogma. When you are straight, you can buy into so many different outlets to sustain your relationship. For some, it's religion, the ability to build and grow, family and legacy. In the same-sex relationship, many of these avenues are close to you, like religion and family. A potential legacy becomes far more complicated. It depends. You know, we're now supported by the tax code as well because we can get legally married here in the U.S. It really depends on the couple and why they are together. That's what I would say. We cannot generalize all same-sex couples because, after all, same-sex men tend to have the lowest divorce rates in the country in terms of marriage statistics. So that's a fact. That's not my opinion. That is a fact. Heterosexual relationships are now 50-50 in terms of their divorce rate, and lesbian couples have the highest divorce rate in the nation. So yes, it just depends on the people. I think two men are ideally adapted to be together long term and to have a life together because we understand each other. We don't have gender influences. The reason why straight marriages are failing these days is because of gender roles and whatnot. People don't know what to do now that the gender roles are obsolete. And, you know, you have women taking the place of men taking the place of women, apparently, in heterosexual relationships, and it's causing a huge firestorm. So I would not put heterosexual people on a pedestal or their relationships because they are struggling. And in some instances, they're struggling more than us same-sex loving people. More than us same-sex loving people, I would say. Let's finish this comment here. It says, give me just a second. He says, when you look at Keelan, Stephen Beck, or Jermel Seaman, these are young, highly attractive guys. I'm assuming when the sex gets stale, they're gone because there was nothing to build and grow with. Then you tack on the fact that many in the community don't want kids, and the reason you stay together becomes less and less. I find that the gay couples who get married and have kids either through adoption or surrogacy tend to last longer. I just don't. These are all generalizations, and once again, I don't quite agree with the author or the person making the comment. What I will say is it just depends on the person. I don't know if their relationship is fake or not, if it's good or bad. I just feel like it just depends on the person. If it's a true connection, why not do it? I just want to caution you against putting your partner on social media, regardless if it's true or not. Yeah, I waited a long time before my family met my husband. Before I introduced him to friends and whatnot, it took some time because I was very serious about wanting to get married and wanting to make sure this was the right person for me. So I just took my time, and it ended up paying off for me in a big way. It just depends on you. What are your needs? What are your goals? It's just always best to keep your partner separate from your career, separate from work and business, if you can. All right, let's finish this up here. Excuse me. Okay. All right. That's it for It's Jamari Fox. I'm kind of wondering, who are these dudes you're talking about? Keelan, Stephen Beck, or Jamel Simon, excuse me. Let's see if I can find him. Stephen Beck. Let's see if I can find Stephen Beck. Give me just a second. Oh, this is him. Okay, wait a minute. So, he had a designer relationship? Okay, he has almost 400,000 followers on IG. Okay. You know what? I honestly did not know if he was gay or not. I saw a video of him with a dude that was, maybe he was with that dude or not. I'm not quite sure. But it looks like he may be gay. Okay. He's a bodybuilder type. Lots of followers. A typical IG model. Let's see if I can find any posts of him and his boyfriend. Yeah, he's giving the ultra masculine tea here. I'm not mad at it. Okay, he's doing a book signing apparently. The Beck Effect celebrates the book signing for Stephen Beck. Okay.
Again, now check.
Sorry, there's music there, you guys. Okay, yeah. So he's talking about his book signing here. Let me just go on a little bit more.
Words of Stephen Beck, a trainer, wellness guru, and author that hopes you'll join him at his upcoming book signing.
Yes, and he's joining us right now to tell us all about it. Welcome to ATL Live, Stephen.
Welcome. Love those words.
Yes, I like it a lot. And now you have your journal right here in front of us. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what prompted you to write it?
First of all, that man is massive. Looking at him sitting next to these women, that dude is a big boy.
Yes, thanks for having me first this morning. Yeah. It's a good thing to be here. Yeah, so this journal here, it's a labor of love, something that I really been working a long time on and really wanted to help people. My passion for fitness and helping people, it exceeds my day-to-day ability. So I was praying to God, how can I help? The masses, what can I do to impact change? And next thing you know, I'm writing this journal.
Yeah, we love that. And I love that you leaned into that, asking the Lord, how can I make an impact? And that's what you've done. Yeah. And you're going to really embrace the community with this. You've got a book signing coming out. What is that going to be like for you to be able to interact with those who are going to have this in their hands?
Oh, it's going to be amazing. We have an awesome event set up on March 25th at Atlantic Station at the 12. Come on down.
Those.
Okay, did you guys go to the book signing? If so, how did it go? Let me know in the comments below. If you live in ATL and you went, just let me know. Interested to know. All right, this is him with the news anchors at ATL. What's the ATL live show? All right, doing big things. All credit goes to God. I'm just a vessel. That's him in his dressing room before the show. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get some more pictures in here. All right, this is dude posted up in the gym. I'd rather have the right thing slowly than the wrong thing now. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can find his.
Who is an author and trainer. And Stephen, I recently read an interview that you did in Heart and Soul, and I was blown away. As I read through the interview, I got to a section that really stopped me cold. It stopped me cold. You talked about how, as a child, how you grew up thicker than most of your classmates and believed that you were overweight. And you went on to talk about how you struggled internally with food and self-image, not realizing that you were experiencing body dysmorphia. Talk to us about how you came to understand what body dysmorphia really was.
Later part of life, realized what it was. But yeah, growing up, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. Went to school with predominantly white kids. You know what I mean? And I was usually the biggest. You know what I mean? The biggest in all my classrooms and such. And I always wanted to look like them. I always felt like I was just out of place, and I had a real issue with that for the longest time. I'm like in second grade. I would drink Slim Fast back. I saw my mom drinking it, and I was just down one of those things that it was magically going to make me lose weight. You know what I mean? I would just sometimes skip my lunch, you know what I mean? Just so I thought that was going to make me skinnier. It was a catalyst of my health journey, so to speak, because once puberty hit, I saw that, my body started to change. And I knew that I always had these aspirations of wanting to look a certain way because I was never good enough to myself. I would always, you know what I mean? Back then, I was always comparing myself to what I thought the vision of, masculinity, and never realizing that I was there. You know what I mean? I was already there, but I was constantly comparing myself to what I thought I was supposed to be, and I was harming myself, and that was my mind that was beating up. And it wasn't until where I gained weight, and I had to really accept myself in that space. I had to own it and be like, I'm okay with myself. I'm fine, and I don't have to always be perfect. And that was tough. I realized, geez, and that stuck with me for so long. And I realized, dang, you're never going to be enough because you're comparing yourself to something that's not real. We're on social media where you're seeing all these perfect pictures of perfect bodies, and you know what I mean? And you're thinking that what you have isn't enough, or that that's what you need in order to be liked or to be accepted. But also, I'm still fighting this struggle. And it wasn't until I had to be stuck in my own self and really accept that I'm good no matter what, but also recognize that I have to be healthy here to like myself, you know what I mean? So I could really feel good, because no matter how many weights I push, you know what I mean, if I have a six pack or not, if I don't like myself for my whole self, it's never going to be enough.
Wow, that was really powerful. I had to play that because he started talking. I'm like, that's so relatable. I've talked to you guys about my journey several times here on this channel, and just feeling, unattractive, being thinner, people teasing me, people, I remember friends coming up to me wanting to they would literally put their fingers around my wrist and like, man, like I could easily just snap your wrist because you're so thin. And just, looking back at that and hearing what he has to say, maybe I had a body dysmorphia too. Maybe I did have body dysmorphia, and some of that probably still lingers with me today while I'm so super critical on, how I look and, being in the gym and what I eat and whatnot. Very powerful. But he is right, like the work starts internally, and healing is through your mental healing and healing from your trauma and self-esteem work, and that is really the part of you that needs the surgery, not so much your bicep, your butt, your legs, your calves, your chest, your arms, whatever it is that you want to fix, your nose, whatever it is that you feel like is holding you back. Is really not that. It's how you think about it, how you feel about it, and what you're believing about yourself. So yeah, it's very powerful that someone like him could struggle with such issues, because I always thought that society was ruthless to skinny people. Society is very ruthless towards people who are too thin, and also people who are too overweight. So if you don't fit in with the crowd in any way, society is going to single you out and try to demean you, try to make you feel less than, because that is its role, is to make you feel bad about who you are so you can keep consuming. And if you keep consuming, the economy keeps going on, the system keeps working. So yeah, like the real flex is learning to feel good about who you are. I know I've gotten off topic about designer relationships, but Stephen Beck was mentioned during that, and I did promise you guys I'm going to try to find his old boyfriend. Let's see if I can keep going on to find him. He probably scrubbed him off his page. Give me just a second. I'm going to keep going on here, promoting his book. I think it's really amazing that he's doing that. Props to this brother. He looks, he looks amazing. Put out a book. It's not easy to do so. Maybe he can get into Hollywood. Like, I hope to see him acting one day. I could see him as, an actor in Tyler Perry's movies and whatnot. I think he's the perfect candidate. He already has a following. He has the right look. I think we'll see him soon in big places. Man, that shoulder to waist ratio is crazy. Crazy. Sorry, you guys. I got off the topic, but I got distracted. But yeah, that is insane. Like, yeah. Okay, he's putting on his stuff. I think he scrubbed that dude off his page, honestly. Maybe I can find his boyfriend, his ex-boyfriend, another way. Give me just 1 second. I want to check one more thing. I don't see him. Okay, I don't see him. And, you know, another thing I want to mention is, why are these people breaking up? You know, like, I used to think super attractive dudes can never have so many issues, you know, dating and maintaining a relationship because everybody wants to be with them. But it looks like they do. Like, they be breaking up more than the ugly dudes do. I don't want to call people ugly, but unattractive. People who society has deemed unattractive. Let me see if I can find him. Boyfriend. Oh, here he is. Okay. This is Steven Beck and his boyfriend. It says Bucci is his boyfriend. Wait a minute, did they get married? Okay, so it says Steven Beck got married to his boyfriend. His boyfriend at the time was named Bucci. That's the boyfriend. That's Steven Beck. This is in 2023 in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, but I don't see him on his page at all. Did they get a divorce? Okay, I found his profile. Listen, he's a DL success stories, but Bucci is the name, said in Twitter. Bro, we went back, said now that's how you do. Operate in silence. Great for them too. Andre Marcel says, I had no idea he was gay. I'm here for it. And he got a black man. Okay, that damn Tweety says he's denied it enough. Everybody's journey is different. I'm so gagged. This is so beautiful. Happy for him. Oh, I thought he was one of them gay baiting straight men. Good for him. Yes, black love. Who is he? You know what? I did not know that. Like, what's his... No, I'm sorry, you guys. His boyfriend's name is not Bucci. His husband's name is not Bucci. Bucci is the name of the person who posted this, who made this post on Twitter. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know who his husband's name is or boyfriend's name is. I don't know their current relationship status. I don't know if they're still married or they're divorced or not, but I want to find out. So this will probably be an episode or part 2 coming up in the future. But yeah, did Steven Beck and his husband break up? Let me know in the comments below. I'm not quite sure. All right, fellas, what did you guys think about my commentary? Did you agree with what I had to say? Did you agree with the article? Did you agree with the fact that maybe these are contrived for fake relationships meant to promote social media accounts and products and whatnot, make people Instagram famous? Or do you believe these are real relationships that just happened to end? I don't know, but let me know in the comments below. Wolf is back, Wolf fact. Take care. Peace.
I don't wanna see a nigga bluff, nigga kill, nigga up. Nigga, what's up? Nigga, what's good? You and they can't, I still trap in the hood. Cell phone bang all night, so I'ma get to it all night. Then on the weekends, so they try to catch flights. With another bitch, nigga, really I might. I never spare, nigga, dare, nigga, trap a nigga, rob a nigga, chop a nigga, brother, nigga, tell a nigga, real a nigga, fuck, real a nigga, spill a nigga, I'ma beat a nigga, never feed a nigga, never see a nigga, never need a nigga, cut a nigga, bust a nigga, can't fuss nigga, what's up, nigga, untouched nigga. Why you say so ugly?